The NASCAR Winston Cup Series returns with one of its biggest races of the season on Memorial Day weekend. We're here at the Lowe Motor Speedway for the longest race of the season mileage-wise. It is the World 600. 80 laps of racing around this 1.5-mile racetrack, 120 miles in length. It is going to be a thrilling race from green flag to checkered flag here tonight at the Lowe Motor Speedway. And I'm joined in the booth by Trey Bardo. And Trey, for a racing fan, Memorial Day Sunday is just like the best day. It's like Christmas for any racing fan. You wake up, have breakfast in Monaco, then you have lunch in Indianapolis, and now here you are having dinner in Charlotte, North Carolina. I know that sounds a little weird, that sounds impossible, but Trey, for a racing fan, that's basically how their day is, every single Memorial Day Sunday.
Yeah, did you are you saying you got up as well?
I got up as well, yeah.
I tried to, but man, it's so hard. It's so hard. I really did try.
I'm sure you watched the Indianapolis 500 earlier, though, right? You at least were up for that one midday.
Oh yeah, of course I was.
Yeah,
I had to be up by then. I would have gotten yelled at if I wasn't.
Exactly. But two great races already to kick off the day. Now we're here for the longest one of the day to end out the triple crown of motorsport here today, and we'll have to see which of these 42 drivers can become the next World 600 winner at the Lowe Motor Speedway and Trade. Maybe it could be one of those Hendrick Motorsports cars. All four are qualifying into the top 15 here tonight, with points leader Brett Sear starting in second place. This could be a really good night for him if he can keep that track position, could keep himself up there, get some really good points, and gain back on some of the points he lost over the last few races. Justin Zaydell still trying to break that long winless drought, starts in 6th place. Keegan Thompson starts in 8th place in the number 5, and Lathan Shirk a little bit further back in 14th place. So Trey, while they're all starting inside the top 15, the only problem, they're all in the outside row.
Yeah, it's kind of strange looking at that, but we know these guys. They'll end up finding their way to the inside, and if they don't, I mean, eventually they'll get to the inside by falling to the back, right? It seems to be how that works.
Yeah, at some point you will find yourself in line. Whether it be in 5th place or whether it be in 35th place, you'll be down the inside at some point, and the Hendrick cars are hoping they could be up inside the top 10, top 15 by the time they find the bottom of the racetrack. Someone else that's performed well in these 1.5-mile racetracks this season, particularly the 1.5-mile quad ovals like we have here today at the Lowe Motor Speedway. Think back to Atlanta, think back to last week at Texas. One driver put themselves up at the front of the field in both of those, and that is the man starting in 4th place, Riley Spurleytube. At Atlanta, he led the most laps, basically all the laps, but got passed late by the man starting in 2nd place, Brett Sear. Last race at Texas, led a lot of laps and got to victory lane, albeit on fuel mileage, but he was up there in position all day long. So Trey, Riley Spurleytube, 2 quad oval races so far this season. He's been up front for both of them, leading laps in contention for the victory. I don't see why that won't change here tonight at the Lowe Motor Speedway.
Yeah, I don't know how you can go against, rooting for the guy, right? I mean, he's definitely making his name known for being one of the best on this type of racetrack. But again, it's going to be a night race, so we're going to have to see if anything falls a little different. Maybe it'll change the whole aspect.
That is true. The last 2 quad oval races at Atlanta and at Texas, they happened under the daylight, under the sun. Here tonight it'll be under the moonlight, so we'll have to see, cooler track conditions, what that's going to provide for these drivers, a little bit extra grip, and we'll see if that throws off the handling for any of the cars as well. And watch for those Roush Racing cars. You have DeLello on pole, really good run from him, still looking for his first victory of the season. Back in 10th place, Jordan Stout won this race last season, so he knows how to win in the World 600. Matthew Burnett just behind him in the 17. Jay Reno, Keyshawn Richardson a little bit further back in the field, but we know they know how to move through the field when they don't have the best qualifying results or even the best race cars in general. They can move through the field just based on pure talent, it seems, at points. So watch for Reno and Richardson starting a little bit further back. They can move through the field as well. So Roush Racing could be one to watch for here tonight at the Lowe Motor Speedway. We'll now take a look at some of the track facts here at Lowe's. It is a beautiful night for racing, 76 degrees, just a little bit of wind, but it should be just fine for everyone here tonight at the Lowe Motor Speedway. As mentioned, 80 laps in length, 120 miles, the longest race of the season, and that leads to an interesting fuel window. They can go about 30 to 35 laps. 35 is a lot, very, very generous. But expect them around like lap 30, lap 31, lap 32. So they'll have to make 2 pit stops in this race. We'll have to see if they play any different strategy with that, try and get tires on sooner for that final pit stop. If yellows come at any point during the race to hinder some of that. 24 degrees banking in the turns, 5 degrees on the straightaways, just like we saw last week at Texas. It's just a little bit narrower than the racetrack at Texas. And some of these stats, they're very interesting to see, is that the closest margin of victory in the World 600 happened in 2000, where Trey I know you remember it for bad reasons. Brett Sierra won the race by 3/1000ths of a second over yourself. So it's interesting to see the closest margin of victory here in this race happened just a few years ago. And watch out for this stat. This could be an interesting one. The last 2 World 600s combined had 7 caution flags. However, 6 of those caution flags happened in 2001. So will we get the crazy carnage like we saw in 2001 with a lot of cars involved in crashes and, 6 different caution flags? Or will we get something like last season where there was 1 caution flag and it was for debris? No accidents in this race last season while there were 6 in the race the prior season. We'll have to see how it all unfolds in one of the biggest races of the season, the World 600. Let's go down to trackside, fire the cars up for the 13th Winston Cup Series race of the 2003 season.
Drivers, start your engines!
42 cars leave pit road for the longest race of the season, the World 600 here at the Lowe Motor Speedway. And starting in 3rd place, how about Ryan Wilson as of late, Trey? He has really come into his own, has competed at the front in the last few races, has gotten some really good finishes. Here he is tonight, Trey, starting well, unlike his teammates Anthony Hernandez and Eli Bright. Maybe this could be the night for Ryan Wilson for DEI and that number 15 first ever Winston Cup Series victory.
Yeah, it definitely took a couple races to get kind of used to getting back into the car, but now it seems like he is comfortable and he's definitely making it worth it right now. We'll have to see how he can start out here and if he can finish up front.
And then just a few rows behind him, another driver who's had a really good stretch of races, Baby Ruiz in this number 7 car. Ruiz, at Texas last race, a very similar racetrack here to Lowe's, finished inside the top 5 in that Melling Ultra car, a very underfunded car compared to the cars around like the Roush's and the Hendricks and the Robert Yates Racings. So Trey, could tonight be the night for Baby Ruiz to maybe get that upset victory? We've seen a lot of upset victories at Lowe's in the past.
Seems like if we're ever have an upset, the 7 always seems to be in the mix, so I would not be surprised to see him up front battling for the lead at some point tonight, and we'll see if, like you said, if tonight's the night.
Well, he starts in 11th. We've seen some close upsets in the past. Remember, Richard Carr Jr. won here a few seasons ago in that 43. Last season, Jacob Miller raced inside the top 5 in the CLR racing car. We'll see if someone has that same magic here tonight. The green flag is waving, and we're underway in the World 600. Trey, I think DeLello was ready to go. He rocketed away, left Brett Sierra and the rest of the field in the dust. He leads through turns 3 and 4. Ryan Wilson moves to 2nd, but Evans being aggressive down to the bottom. He looks for 2nd place. They come off the corner, filtering through mostly double file. DeLello leads the first lap. Wilson trying to keep 2nd. Evans looking to the bottom. 1 row 3 wide further back as Harrison got put to the middle by Chris Jericho on the 18, racing now through turns 1 and 2.
It's always hard to figure out where you want to watch exactly at the start of these types of races because it seems like there's action all throughout the field, and you don't know if something's going to spark where it's going to happen at.
Exactly. It could happen at the front of the field, it could happen at the back of the field, it could happen in the middle of the field. You just never know. Brett Sierra in a close scenario right there with Riley Spurgeon, 3 wide further back. Harrison still stuck in the middle, looking for a way out of it. Still DeLello leading over Evans in 2nd, Kukulon in 3rd. That's Evans' teammate. Then Luke Rainey up to 4th, and Baby Rose to 5th, going for 4th on Luke Rainey. Gets the run to the inside as they race side by side for 4th. Down the back straightaway, front 3 get clear in single file. Then Fitzwater behind Ruiz. Randall's moving up, and so is Mathis Wells. Wells won this race back in 2001 when it was that crash festy type of a race. Well, this time he's moving up cleanly so far early on, but he has that Lowe's car right behind him. Nathan Strickland looking to win at the Lowe Motor Speedway in that Lowe's car. And, he didn't race in this race last season, was injured after a crash in Texas, but here he is now racing this season and having a really good run through the field so far.
Yeah, he's making his way up there. He's not really, that's the thing, you can't really rush it, Joe. I mean, this is a long race, right? So you're not going to win on the first 10 laps, 20 laps, even 30 laps. It's going to take a while, so there's no need to really push yourself up front. You just got to stay out of the way of any trouble that could happen, and hopefully by the end of it, your name's in the talks of the chance of winning it.
Well, this man so far, he's in the talks of winning it. Baby Ruiz moved for 2nd on Conrad Evans, clears him with ease, has a run onto DeLello for the race lead. Down the back straightaway, Ruiz is on the bumper of our pulsator DeLello for the race lead. He's trying to get around here, get those 5 bonus points, and This man has been on fire as of late. You know, this is a driver, Trey, who you mentioned if there's one driver in one car to be in contention for an upset victory week after week, it would be Bib Ruiz at the top of the list.
And it wouldn't be the first time we've seen a car here come out with an upset victory, right, Joe? We've seen it a couple of times, actually, so you never know. History tends to repeat itself.
Something about this racetrack at Lowe's, just those underdogs can really fight their way through as Ruiz gets to the lead, Evans to second, but, you know, of recent memory of just, you know, the JRTV races at Lowe's. This isn't even, you know, all throughout the history of the Lowe's Motor Speedway. Think back to, you know, the 2000 World 600 when it was that close finish between you and Brett Sierra, but everyone forgets that for Team Savco, Caden Lynn was leading at the white flag, and, you know, when do we talk about a Team Savco car leading? You know, that turned into Chip Ganassi Racing. It just doesn't really happen. So that was kind of a near upset right there. And think back to Roberto Crown Jr. winning here in 2001 in the fall race here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. Last season, Jacob Miller racing inside the top 5, top 3 positions and running amongst the, you know, the giants like Joe Gibbs Racing and Roush Racing. And then, you know, in the fall race last season, it was Nathan Stapleton for Chip Ganassi Racing having a very good run. So, yeah, here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway, you can really see some underdogs do well. And so far, Baby Ruiz doing well pulling the field around here.
Yeah, it's always it's why it's one of the greatest racetracks we go to, right? Everyone has a shot. It's almost like a super speedway, but it's not. It's strange how it works out, but yeah, so far this Seven's making his case known. We'll see how long he can withstand being up here as these guys continue to battle back. A couple 3-wide action and some close calls. I don't know if they really made contact there, if they were able to avoid that.
It was very, very close. But how about this interesting car, Trey? I mean, I don't know if he wins tonight, Chris Jericho. Are the fans going to cheer or boo? Right? Because he has Canada on one side of the car, America on the other side. So, I mean, what do you do on an American holiday like this? Do you like if you see the one side, you start cheering, but if he spins around a donut to the other side and they see the Canadian flag, I don't know if they'd be too happy about that.
Make sure he stops the car on the front stretch with the passenger side to the fans?
I guess so. It's a good thing when he goes by on the front stretch as the passenger side, not, you know,
yeah.
Maybe they can't see it on the back stretch when it's near them.
Maybe that's what they planned that out for right there, huh?
It could be. It could be. But Jericho moving up nicely. He's not had the most consistent of seasons. You know, his 3 top 10 finishes are top 5s, and he has that one win at Richmond, but has not been able to find that consistency to keep him up there in the points. DeLello coming back after Bibi Ruiz for the lead here at Lowe's as they go side by side on lap number 10. It's a great battle at the front between Ruiz and DeLello, and this is bringing Brett Sierra, Zachary Fitzwater Sr., and Tim Gary right into the mix as well as DeLello moves back out in front, and the man in second, Trey, Brett Sierra, really wants to get a lap lead here early on for 5 bonus points. Might actually get this lap lead down to the inside for Sierra into turns 3 and 4.
Is he going to be able to clear him coming off of 4? He's got a good run to the inside. He's got it done. I thought they were going to be 3 wide for second there.
It looked like it was going to be close, but I think Fitzwater kind of backed out of that, knowing that it was just not going to be a good move. Gary looks for 3rd place now. Sierra gets away and leads. Jericho moving up inside the top 5, going for 5th on Ruiz, then for 4th on Fitzwater. Further back, Luke Rainey is just there, stationed inside the top 10. Jordan Stelp fell back on the start because he started on the outside, making his way back up. And here's a mantra we've talked about every single race. He never starts well this season, but he always finds a way up inside the top 10. Keyshawn Richardson currently up in 11th place and hunting down the top 10 with some of his teammates up here as back at the front. Gary's going for 2nd place on DeLello as Sierra still leads in the 25 car.
Yeah, it's always interesting to watch here because you can never tell who has a good car and who doesn't just because they're shuffling so much. But come near the end of these longer green flag runs, we'll be able to tell who's who.
Jericho got tight off turn 2, nearly got into DeLello. The 16 had to get a little wide. The 7 looked to the inside 3 wide, thought better of it, looking to pass Jericho off 4, but instead just kind of stays by him for now, pushing him down the front straightaway as they race down to turns 1 and 2. Gary right in the bumper as Sierra. Remember, Gary got his first break in the Winston Cup Series, subbing for that, you know, injured number 25 driver Brett Sierra in 2000 in those final few races, and now here he is trying to battle him out in a different car and maybe even in lesser equipment, although this season MB2 has shown that they belong among the greats of, you know, team owners, and Gary's shown it here tonight, going for the lead on Sierra off turn number 4. Gets close off 4, but Gary down to the inside, should have the pass made through the bottom of turns 1 and 2 right here as he's side by side with Sierra. Ruiz back up to 3rd, Jericho back in 4th, and now 5th place is Jordan Stout. Watch that number 6 quietly work his way up. Won this race last season. It did it in pretty quiet fashion then as well.
We're slowly starting to get a little bit more spread out here, and I mean, technically that's a good thing. You know, a lot of people might not like it because, you know, they like seeing the passes, the big groups and all that, but at this point, these drivers can kind of, settle out. They don't really have to push as hard and, kind of feel how their car's going to act on that long run, because you'd expect them to get loose, but, in some cases they end up getting tighter. So we'll have to see who's going to fade out and fade back in, as a 7 just does not seem like he wants to give up that lead.
Baby Rose takes it back from Tim Gary. Gary did get to lead that lap for 5 bonus points. Now Jericho wants to lead the lap for 5 bonus points, looking on that number 7 of Baby Rose. But you mentioned a good point about how the field has gotten strung out. It's gotten strung out in a few races this season where we're not used to seeing it, right? And I think a lot of that is they're actually 3 wide back here. As Riley Spurgeon making a pass. I think DeLello backed out of that in the 16, gave everyone some room. But I think part of the reason they get spread out like they have this season at some of the tracks like California or at Texas or at, even at Richmond, they kind of got spread out a little bit more than usual. Jericho moves through to the lead on Ruiz, but I think a lot of that has to do, Trey, with the fact that Goodyear is bringing softer tires to the racetrack. And what that basically means is that on a shorter run, they'll have a lot of grip, and you'll be able to make moves there. But if you push too hard, as right there, pushing too hard for 2 of the top runners in the points, Sierra and Spurgeon got together, luckily saved their cars, but if you push too hard early on, you could really wear the tire out, and tire wear will come into effect. We're expected to see here tonight, Trey, upwards of a second of tire fall off over a run, maybe even a second and a half, and that will spread this field out, but also enables drivers who save stuff to be able to still make passes. So it spreads the field out, but you can also still make passes through the field. And I think that's been a great change to Winston Cup Series racing this season, where we saw 0 cautions at Texas, we saw 0 cautions at Richmond, we saw less cautions at California. That just provides for better racing, in my opinion, and it's what we've been seeing even at Atlanta. They brought a softer tire to Atlanta, and it spreads the field out, but it allows for some really, really good racing.
Yeah, 100%. And that's not to say that these drivers aren't, relaxed driving these things. These things are still on edge, right? Exactly. They're still having to manhandle these things around this track, especially with what we saw between the 25 and the 28. That might have looked like, they didn't really struggle at all, but I can promise you those guys are probably going to need a change of a fire suit once they get onto pit road. But, these guys are still doing whatever they can. They're still on the edge. But I agree. It's for the better racing. And so far, I think we can all agree we've had some great races.
Oh, yeah, and we've had a really good race so far here tonight. We've traded the lead a few times, and we have a lot of different drivers moving through the field. Keyshawn Richardson started poorly, but has raced his way up into the top 5, top 3. Fitzwater's right behind him in the number 2. Baby Rose is up here. George Stout had to start on the outside. He's come back. Ryan Spurgeon to Brett Sierra fell back early on, but they've come back through the field. Up at the front, Gary's looking back on Chris Jericho, looking for a run by him. So far, can't find it. Even Laura Chung has moved through the field nicely. That number 9 is up inside the top 10. How about Eli Bryant, the number 8? He didn't practice well, didn't qualify well, but Trey, I think that crew chief of his made some good adjustments, and that number 8's flown up inside the top 15.
Yeah, definitely. And this 8's had some up and downs so far this season, I think we can say, right? It seems like he's either on it or he's off of it. In this night so far, I'd say he's working his way up. He's getting on it right now.
Well, did you hear the news about the change they made at crew chief level?
I don't think I did.
Yeah, they decided, right? It just wasn't working out. Whatever it was, it just wasn't working out at crew chief and driver. And they kept the crew chief around just in case they need to move it back or move him to somewhere else. But they brought Eli's father onto crew chief.
Really?
Yeah.
Jeff Bright,
the legend, 3-time champion.
The Jeff Bright.
Yeah, you know how you have 3 championships? That man has 3 championships too. I think he's pretty good.
Yeah, I was going to say, if there's someone you want on top of your pit box, it might be someone that knows how to win races.
It might be, and you know what? It's Jeff Bright, so we'll have to see if that number 8 can last throughout this long run. And you know what? I think the big problem at Texas, he raced well early on, but then, Trey, when the pit stop came, where did he go, right? What happened to that number 8? What adjustments did they make on the car to make it so much worse? I think that was really the boiling point. Hey, I was running top 5, top 10 all race long, and then all of a sudden, I was back in 20th place. What happened, crew chief? What did you do on the pit stop?
Yeah, and it's just the way that sometimes I've gone through my phases of needing a pit crew change, and it's not the fact of wrecking the back well's around
and Brett Sierra.
Oh no!
Big crash.
Big hits. Oh, so much smoke. These drivers can't see a thing right now.
There are cars littered on the front straightaway. That's DEI cars in it. We saw some of the Hendrick cars. Guo, Tuck, Mathis Wells, the 2001 winner of this race. And as mentioned, the points leader, Brett Sierra, is in it. That's a big championship turnaround right there.
how quickly things can. That's how quickly, Joe, these
Yep.
things can happen. And I mean, we kind of saw it late as these guys are getting slowed down with the damaged cars, trying to figure it all out. We
There's
should
a lot
be good.
of cars everywhere.
Yeah, it's a junk field right now, but it almost looked like he just kind of got turned. We'll have to wait to see replays, but it was hard to say. Well, Joe, what do you think?
Yeah, that changed a lot, but I think they're definitely coming down pit road. 25 laps in. I mean, they were about 5 laps from pitting anyway. They'll now have 55 laps to go, so assuming they filled up on fuel here, they can go another 30 laps, pit with about 25 to go, and they'll be good to the end. So, we'll have to see now. Can the pit crews rise to the occasion, get everyone in the positions they need to? It looks like some more damaged cars came in early, so they'll be starting probably tail end of the field. Some damaged cars are in I think Jude Martinelli just hit Jordan Stout there. I don't think it's going to cause any damage to the 6, but definitely could have put the 6 out of control. Unfortunately, Stout held on to it.
Yeah, that was. I don't know if maybe. I mean, Martinelli's had break for wrecks this season so far. I don't think you can argue that. But there might be some brake issues on the back of the car. But yeah, we're looking at Jericho's pit stop here, 4 tires, and he's out. Watch out for the 5 of Keegan.
Yeah, Keegan should just let him go because he's damaged.
Yep. Same thing for the 2 here.
That was
and
a class act by Keegan right there.
Yeah, 100%. He understood what's going on there, and Jericho seems like he retains his position coming into off of pit road, and so does everyone else, as far as I can tell.
Yeah, everyone pretty much that 4 Roush cars in a row right there. That's not something you see every day, but there they are lined up. But now the interesting part is that some of these damaged cars came in. They're on the tail end of the lead lap now. So this 30, this 42, the 40, 45, 11, 22. Either they were near the crash and had flat tires needed to come in, or got some damage they wanted to come in sooner. Like this 22 has some hood damage, it looks like. So they'll be on the tail end of the lead lap. They're going to hope for a quick yellow, or or the leaders to battle it out and they can try and get away. But we'll go see what happened. This car is leading it, but his teammate junked in the big accident early on here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. Well, Trey, if there's one thing that doesn't really work here, it's a squeeze of 3 wide, and coming off turn number 4 especially, Roberto Crown Jr. gets tight, pushes up into Brett Sierra. Wells can't go any higher, so Sierra clips Wells down to Roberto Crown Jr., and it's on from there. The 43 gets away from this, but the points leader and last season's champion, they don't. Hard into the wall, Kukulon gets low and misses, but then he gets hit by Evan Hunter, and then Hunter down into Collins and Kirchner. Wilson drills Brett Sierra. Davis drills Wilson. Hernandez got through that part, but then gets collected up here. Up in front, cars hit the wall hard. Oskin hits Wells. Here comes Martinelli. Matt Tuck. Henrik Woe. Further back, Brett Sierra hit by Chen, and then Jacob Miller. Cars are still up here. Colin Lewis. Matt Tuck. I mean, Trent, that was a lot of race cars.
Yeah, and I mean, for a majority of those guys, it's, but like I said, it's just there's so much smoke that you can't really see, and you don't want to risk going through the grass because there could be guys down there. So you just kind of try to slow the car down and hope and pray. But for most of these guys, it didn't work out too well. As you see the 29 there going to the pit road, and yeah, that 20 is I don't think they're going to be able to save that.
No, and unfortunately for Matt as well, it's already been a poor start to his season. This one's not going to, this race is not going to turn around for sure. It's going to drop him down in points, and last season's champion cannot find his footing here so far in 2003. We'll go take a look at this wreck from a few more angles. And another view of the 3 wide coming through turns 3 and 4. They just come together, and look how quick that 20 car spun around, and nowhere Brett Sierra could go in it.
Yeah, and then they're all in. He's kind of hoping that they don't get hit too much often, but sadly, that's not the case. I think the 20 hit almost everyone in this wreck.
Yeah, the 20 basically had everyone collect with him, and yeah, you see Joshua Harrison coming at the end and able to slow down, luckily for him. But we'll get a camera angle to see if we can try and catch what happened up in front with drivers like Evan Hunter and Kirchner. I think they just spun there fine, but the 29 Kukulon, he's not too fine. And then it was the one of Hernandez that missed the first part of the crash, but hit the 29. We'll go take a look at that part, see if we can find some sort of camera angle that covers that. And here's the view from turn 1 as all the carnage happens in the quad oval, but this will really catch the secondary incident with Hunter and others spinning through the grass. Mitchell Collins sandwiched into the wall with them. The 29, the 1 collected further back, and chaos erupting behind them. The first caution of the World 600 out here at Lowe's. Chris Jericho, the race leader here on JRTV. This race will restart on lap number 30 here in the World 600 at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. Chris Jericho still the race leader in that number 18. His pit crew did the work on pit road. And it was a lot of cars to the garage done after that one. Jacob Miller, Colin Lewis, Henry Guo, Matt Tuck, Jude Martinelli, Matt Oskin, Max Davis, Anthony Hernandez. The points leader, Brett Cyril, finished 34th place. Not such a good points night. Jerry Chen, Sebastian Kukulon, Mathis Wells, and Ryan Wilson. A bunch of cars on the tail end of the lap. They're Justin Atkins, Nathan Stapleton, Benny Lynn, Hunter Reed, Joshua Harrison, and Nathan Barrett. They're open for a quick caution flag. They can try and get caught up. Currently, we have 23 cars lined up in this line. Some damage like Mitchell Collins, Sarah Kirchner, Keegan Thompson, Evan Hunter. Richard Country might have some slight damage in that 43, but should have about 19-20 clean race cars on the lead lap. So it's Chris Jericho in the lead, Fitzwater in second, Sprotube third, Tim Gary fourth, and fifth place to Bibby Ruiz. Then Jordan Stiles in sixth, Jay Brando seventh, Keyshawn Richardson in eighth, Matthew Burnett in ninth. And how about the run for Tyler Belladonna up into the top 10 for Jasper Motorsports? Their other car is in the garage and out. We'll see if Belladonna can do wonders like he did at Dover just a few races ago. The pace car is back into pit road. Chris Jericho's traffic in front. We'll see how he deals with it at the green flag. It's back waving here in the World 600. That was a great restart for Riley Sprute, who made the move from third place to second place on Fitzwater. As Hunter Reed is going to fall lap down. Looks like that 45 a little bit off the pace with some damage. Further back, see Keegan Thompson, Evan Hunter look like they're struggling with some damage. As Tim Gary will move to third place. Jay Randall moving by teammate Jordan Stout. He kind of slides wide. Here comes Keyshawn Richardson. Down to the bottom of the 99. Their teammate Matthew Burnett as well. Behind them, 4 Roush cars. And I'm sure Ross McTrain probably covering his eyes right now, Trey, seeing those 4 battling side by side, 2 by 2.
Yeah, definitely. And it'll be interesting to see how these leaders kind of cope with these slower cars, because they're not really damaged. They're just off pace, right? Especially that you think of like the 30, the RCR car, right?
Yep.
It's not like he's a slow car. He just, for some reason tonight, he's not as fast as his teammates. So it's it'll be interesting to see how majority of these guys manage their way through. And it's definitely clustered. That's what we can say.
Yeah, it's stacked everyone up. As you can see right there, the front 4 really just kind of nose to tail in the bottom as Jericho moves around Joshua Harrison. That was really the final big hurdle, as now Justin Atkins, he might be fast enough to stay out there for a little bit, hope for a quick caution here in the next few laps, as here comes Riley Spurleytube. That 28 has some life now because Brett Sears out. He's finishing 34th place. This 28 will gain no matter what he does here tonight, even if he finishes out of the race in a crash, but he definitely wants to get up here and lead laps and get those 5 bonus points for leading, get those 5 bonus points maybe leading the most laps, and get out here, gain on that points lead, and get right to Brett Sierra. But he goes wide. Here comes Tim Gary.
He's going to get there. We'll have to see if he gets any sort of run going into 3. Looks like he's got the edge. He should be able to send it in there and clear that 28 with ease right now. So there he goes, as we're still managing with some lap traffic here.
Richardson being very aggressive with Nathan Stapleton. That 42 not as fast as the cars around him. Richardson had to back out because I think that could have been a major accident if he did not. Now he has to try and find a way to get by this 42 because Tim Gary, while they stay behind Nathan Stapleton, he gets a little bit of a gap, gets a little bit of a draft off Justin Atkins. He can get away, but now Richardson moves to the inside. He's up to second place, trying to get by this lap car, the 42 of Nathan Stapleton. Then Fitzwater is in third, and Eli Brightray is moving up fourth place for that number 8 car. Moving up, getting a little loose off the corner and had to lift. And oh my gosh, that could have been a big moment right there for Eli Bright.
Not very often that it's very visible that the car's loose, but that was a big movement out of him.
If we had a camera looking in at him, we'd be seeing that wheel turning every which way off turn number 4 that last lap.
I bet you his eyes were as big as a moon, man. That would have that would have scared anyone.
Yeah, that was a little bit scary for even us up in the booth, but luckily Eli controlled the car, kept it going straight. Gary still leads. Richardson, Fitzwater trying to run him down. Then you have Eli Bright. Then 2 lap cars are side by side. Their teammates from Chip Ganassi Racing is Gary's looking to lap Justin Atkins up here, so put that 30 lap down and get another car between he and now second place, which is going to be Zachary Fitzwater Sr. As Richardson goes wide, almost into the wall through 1 and 2. He got a little bit tight maybe there, and here comes Eli Bright going for third place down the back straightaway. Great run for that number 8, and Lathan Strickland Trey up inside the top 5, that 48 moving up.
Yeah, this is this kind of shaking, the front for you guys up, which is weird to say, but think about it. That 18, I don't even know where he went.
There he is.
He's right there.
Right in the back of this train. And
here they're squeezing each other.
Hunter Reed, who's a lap car, squeezed Spurleytube, and Lawrence almost got the brunt end of that. Is up front for the lead. Tim Gary has it. Fitzwater wants it down to the inside. Car number 2 going on Tim Gary, and it looks like he's going to be able to complete this pass and lead this next lap for 5 bonus points. They'll actually drag race for it. Gary got a great run. Oh, what if that's the finish?
It's this is cooking up to be something good. Here comes that 30 back, trying to get his lap back. It'll be interesting to see how these leaders, I guess you could say, how they appreciate that.
Yeah, how do they like that? Especially, Benny Lynn also up here. There's 2 lap cars trying to fight to get their laps back in case the yellow comes out. Right back here, Gary goes wide. Bright's looking to the middle. We've seen 3 wide off 4 not work too well. They gave each other room. Great job by all 3 guys right there. And Eli backs out of it.
This is I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden we're a lot more racy and edgy with each other. You see the 8 really pushed up the track there. I don't think there was any contact between him and Latham Strickland. And then right now, Fitzy's having the battle of his lifetime, and that's not even guys with position.
Yeah, it's not even for the lead. It's for lap traffic. Right here, as those 2 move by him, who's it going to help but Keyshawn Richardson, second in the point standings, looking to try and get 5 bonus points right in that number 99 car. Can he find a way around, get this next lap led? And next time by, Trey, halfway through the World 600. 1 caution flag so far. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my word.
I don't think Fitzwater knew the 99 was looking 3 wide right there, and he knew at the last second, thankfully.
There's still 3, though, so they got to be careful. They can't really do any mistakes. That was nicely done here, so that's going to hurt Fitzy a little bit, but I'd rather lose a couple of positions than lose a whole race.
That's true, and here comes Strickland. Can he steal the 5 points from Keyshawn Richardson? I don't think so. This 99's going to do it. 5 bonus points. That's big right there because Sierra, he led early on as well. 99 can cancel that out. He's still in the race. The 25's not. Further back, Evans had started well, kind of fell back, but Trey, here he is forcing 3 wide down to the inside, being very aggressive. That is right now for 3rd position. Evans moves through it all.
It's all fine and dandy, but I'm kind of wondering. I'm looking out on the track. I can't really see them yet.
Oh, no!
Oh, big hit!
Keyshawn Richardson nails the wall. They come up, and now they're still wrecking ahead. Fitzwater's involved in the 2.
Wow.
Oh.
Again, things can just change in an instant.
And it changed right there. What a big hit. And Atkins, Trey, look at that 30. Stayed on the lead lap.
Well, I guess there's always an upside to pushing your car to try to stay on the lead lap, and the 30 just did it.
Oh, but he's pitting now. Now that I don't think
pit road was open.
Pit road's open, but however, I think he's going to get the stop sign at the end of pit road because the pace car's going to beat him, so he's going to be back on the tail end.
Interesting call.
Yeah, I don't know if I understand that, but what's left of the field is coming down pit road right now, and it's not much. I mean,
who is left in the field?
We have 6 cars right there. Burnett. I mean, look at all these cars, and then there's some right here. I think there might be a car that needs to get positioned. Maybe this 28 car needs to get positioned. Some others back here as well, but I mean, yeah, there are cars littered everywhere with damage, and there's not too many clean race cars.
No. Well, this is survival of the fittest. I mean, it's very weird, and we're gonna see how these pit roads go. Guy we have not talked about, this 88 Luke Rainey.
Yeah, he's kept his car clean, thankfully, throughout most of this race. Now, they're pitting right here, 38 laps to go, Trey. The pit window's only 30 to 35 laps. They can't make it from here unless they save.
Maybe they're banking on another wreck somehow, some way.
Well, how many cars are left to cause a crash? I don't know if there's enough. I mean, maybe 16 might look fine, 77 might be fine.
They might be banging on some sort of debris caution too. Honestly, with all these damaged cars.
Yeah, I believe that more than another crash, that's for sure. And then all these guys back here are damaged. I mean, look at this. I think some of these guys, like the 36, they came in at the end and hit some guys. This 2, I think he's in big trouble.
Or he's mad. Maybe he's waiting for someone.
I don't think that's it. I think that car is
he's struggling, ain't he?
Yeah. I mean, they hit pretty good on that driver's side, it looks like. So there might be, battery issue on that car. They keep the batteries behind that left rear tire.
I understand wanting to get it back to pit road, but at this point, you might as well just kind of
wait for a truck.
Pull over and let them come help you. But wow. Anyways, big changes again, Joe.
Yeah, and more of our front runners in the championship. Evan Hunter, Keyshawn Richardson, Riley Spurley tube involved. So, this man Lathan Strickland, he's up there in points. So it's going to be a big night for him in the point standings. We'll check out what happened. Second caution flag. It's another big accident, and it happened towards the front of the field here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. It's another 3-wide scenario coming off turn number 4. This time the guy in the bottom is Tim Gary, and he pushes up again. Benny Lynn Richardson, and they can't go any higher. And look at that hit. Oh, Richardson nailed the wall. Fitzwater then right here. He's trying to miss it, comes down. He's going to get hit by Jay Rand, who is full throttle through the grass, trying to get through. And then they come up the track right here. Lawrence and Chung, Zidell have nowhere to go. Further up the road, Fitzwaterson's back into traffic with Rando. Spurley 2, Burnett, Roberto Crown Jr., Baby Ruiz, one of the underdogs. Tyler Belladonna, DeLello, they find a way through it. And that 77, the 16, that might be the last clean cars trade that got through it.
Yeah, this was another weird thing where there's a main wreck, and then it seems like there's another smaller wreck down the road. It's it's weird how that happened twice.
Yeah, it is weird. And, same place both times and same result both times. One big crash and a second big crash to go along with it, as we'll go take a look at this wreck from possibly a few more angles. Well, Trey, how do you like it that the man on the outside of this, Keyshawn Richardson, who's getting squeezed into the wall right there and maybe has the hardest hit of this crash, he was the leader last time by at the line.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting. Did you see how close that 43 got to avoiding that?
Yeah. Roberto Crown Jr. so close, but just got clipped and got collected. You can see some of these cars that came in and just had to slow down, and a lot of cars with some damage as well, trying to get away. As we'll take a look, one more angle of this very, very big crash. And the final view from the rear bumper of Jordan Stout, the winner of this race last season. Watch as he sees the destruction behind him, and his rear view mirror cars colliding with everyone else. Second caution flag is out here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. We'll see how the next restart goes and who's left in this major race. So an interesting time to restart this race. We'll be going green with 35 laps to go. Remember, the fuel window is 30 to 35 laps, so if they really want to push it, they can try it. However, I don't know if they're just going to be able to do it. I think there's just too much time left for the drivers to try and make it. But we've seen crazier things. We'll have to see if something crazy happens here in this one. A lot of cars done from that, including Benny Lynn, Laura Chung, Zachary Fitzwater Sr., Evan Hunter, Baby Ruiz, Jay Rando, and a lot of cars one lap down, including Hunter Reed, Joshua Harrison, the number 22 of Nathan Baird, 42 Nathan Stapleton, 10 of Tim Gary, 24 Zidell. Justin Atkins on the tail end of the lead lap, and 16 cars on the lead lap, including Keyshawn Richardson, still out there, going to try and finish the race out. Had all that damage, but they've gone back out there to see how fast he can get going. So at the front, it's Lathan Strickland in the 48, Eli Brett in second, Evans in third, Stout in fourth. Fifth place is Jericho, then sixth place is Luke Rennie. They have a lap car buffer between their next guy, which is number 17 and 16, then the 77, then the 5. So not too many clean race cars. And we'll have to see if the 16 and the 77 can make it through the damaged cars to stay in touch with the front few. Back green, and Evans with a great jump, moving by Eli Bright. But back here, Trey, look how slow some of these guys are. And look at Riley Spurley to around the outside of the 28 car.
He just gained like 10 spots.
Yep, and has one more.
Did he gain? Is he on the lead lap?
He's on the lead lap still. He's still trucking along in that number 28. Tyler Belladonna, Zachary DeLello are trying to find a way through, but Nathan Steelton puts them 3 wide!
Oh no, there they go again.
DeLello's in the wall.
We're not done. I don't think
Herbert, oh!
No, not done.
Third accident.
Well, that shows you what the lap cars will do to a field.
And these guys are still racing back around. Evans is the leader. He took it from Strickland. But here comes Jordan's down the 6 with a good run with Luke Rennie in the 88. Evans able to clear it off for now. Jericho is sliding up the track. Couldn't make the bottom. Has to be careful coming off forward not to crash with those two guys. They kept it going. Evans will lead, and now will Atkins stay out this time in the 30? Or will they come down because they're short on fuel?
That's a good call. I don't know. What would you do?
Well, if I'm Atkins, I'm definitely staying out because I'm back on the lead lap, and he got this, this magical, wish granted twice in a row. Do not come down pit road and ruin it for the second time.
Hey, Joe.
But Trey, what's he doing? He's come down pit road and ruining it for the second time.
He's coming. I don't know.
I'd have a talk with that crew chief.
I don't know. Maybe they need Atkins' dad to come join the pit box now too. What are they doing?
Or are they keeping up there to try and help Evans out? I don't know, but I'd rather have
That's
a
amazing.
car.
That's actually amazing. I'm at a loss for words for that pit stall. He's been given how many breaks, and he keeps hurting himself.
Well, Trey, you would imagine now everyone here is fuel only. Just a little bit of gas, go, and you can probably make it from here. They're pitting with 32 laps to go.
Yeah, yeah, you would think.
It's gonna be close
I'm
still,
still,
but
I'm still dumbfounded.
with the 30 car.
Yeah,
Now
I
Matthew
don't
Burnett
understand.
had pitted
Oh,
before
and
that.
now he's holding up.
Matthew
All right,
Burnett had
anyways.
pitted before that caution came out. Eli Bright, look at, he took gas and go. Evans took 2 tires. So Jeff Bright being aggressive. Other guys are taking 4 and some are taking 2, and I mean, look at,
So
there's a mixed bag right here.
can Eli yell at his crew chief now? Does he get threatened with like being grounded or something?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that works, but I mean, his crew chief just got him the lead. So I think the 17 should be a lap down here, Matthew Burnett, although it's showing him right now in the lead lap. We'll have to get an update on that and see where he, is in all this. If he stayed on the lead lap with that pit stop, and if he did, he's actually going to lead some laps with that damaged race car. But we'll go check out what happened. 3rd caution flag out here at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. Some chaos through turns 3 and 4 as Nathan Stapleton, the lap car, misses the bottom of the racetrack. Well, Trey, a question right here with Nathan Stapleton. First of all, he's the lap car taking it 3 wide on 2 lead lap cars, then misses the corner.
He just sent it in there.
And I mean, right here, then Belladonna's in a bad position. Then Crown decides to come off the bottom. And poor Belladonna, who had a clean race car, no longer clean. And luckily, DeLello was able to miss it. So that's another clean, lead lap car. But Belladonna was a clean lead lap car, and look how he is now.
That was such a weird set of events that happened. It all started with the 42 of Stapleton just sending it. I mean, I don't know how else you say anything about it. He just full throttled there and pretty much and used everyone else to help him turn the corner.
Now, did Matthew Burnett right there, did he beat the leaders to that pit exit line? We'll have to see right here.
Why was he on pit road in the first place?
He came down pit road for whatever reason. However, that yellow coming out, did it save him a lap or did it put him a lap down? We're going to have to see right here in that number 17. Is he, I think he's going to be a lap down. So I think Matthew Burnett's going to be, looks like tail end of the lead lap with Justin Atkins, which means, Trey, Eli Bright, his no tire call gets him the race lead. We'll see if he can hold in that Budweiser number 8 Chevrolet for Dale Earnhardt Incorporated. 29 laps to go when we take the green flag. Eli Bright is the race leader with his no tire call. We'll see if Jeff Bright maybe becomes the permanent crew chief after this one, or if he gets sacked. The big question is, did they get enough fuel in? Because they still, they pit with 32 to go while they're going green with 29 to go. That should be easy to make. If you didn't get it full, it could be questionable. Second place, Evans took 2 tires. And then it looked like everyone else took 4 tires. So that's Jordan's down to 6, Chris Jericho in the 18, Lathan Strickland in the 48. Then you have some lap cars, right, between those front 5 and next guy. So then you have Stapleton and Baird, then Luke Rainey in 6th. Sarah Kirchner is still 7th. She was spinning in that one caution. Lawrence has damage, but he's up to 8th. Ryan Spruce is now 9th, and Mitchell Collins is 10th. Then you have Richard Carr Jr. 11th. Richardson is now 12th. DeLello has a clean race car still in 13th. Then Thompson is 14th. Belladonna is 15th. 2 tail end of the lead lap cars are Burnett and Atkins. Bright is the leader. Here we come to the green flag. 29 laps to go in the World 600. It's been a chaotic marathon. We'll see if it stays like that. Green flag back in the air. Eli Bright with a jump, but Evans with a better run. The 31 to the inside, going for the lead, but the 17 slower with damage. Can he get around, or will the 8 get around the outside?
I don't know where you want to be as a leader right now.
Looks like Eli Bright is in the right position. To the outside and to the lead. Bright back by as Evans will try and get by. Burnett, though, he might be coming back down pit road. This could really shake everything up.
Oh, easy there.
Oh, there they go again.
Again.
Oh.
We cannot avoid the wrecks.
Now will Atkins stay out this time? The leaders had taken the caution flag.
Please stay out.
It looks like he is.
4th time's a charm.
Yep, clean race car is gonna be out there. There's Burnett. He should rejoin now at the back of the field, so he shouldn't, cause any more chaos if he has to come back. I don't know if they maybe just can't get a wheel tight or something.
I don't know. That's
Well, it took out 2 of his teammates in
great. Yeah, he did. He kind of destroyed Roush there, but what's this race took a major turn.
Yeah, we went 25 caution-free laps. Since then, we've had 4 cautions in the next 30 laps.
That's modern day NASCAR for you, Joe.
I guess it is. Eli Bright still the leader. Atkins back on the lead lap. Matthew Burnett at the back of the field now, and second in points, Keyshawn Richardson. Can they clean that car up even more to try and keep it out there and keep whatever spots they can? We'll go check out what happened. Not too many cars left running at the front. We'll see what happened. Fourth caution is out here at the Lowe's. Well, here's the fourth yellow. Burnett pitting slows everyone up, and right here I think Zydell out. I think he maybe just barely hit the 99 to the 16. I mean, really, there was nowhere to go for those guys.
No, not at all. And well, that's two more teammates that are out. The 43 has been involved in
a lot.
All the wrecks so far?
He's been involved in most. And this man, Eli Bright, I mean, I'm sure he liked the yellow because now he can save some fuel even if he, got it full. You never do know with that splash and go. So Eli Bright continues to lead in the World 600, but last season's winner, Jordan Stout, is going to be right on his bumper for the next restart. Back here on JRTV, pacing under our fourth caution flag of the night, as we'll come back to 25 laps to go at the line. And Trey, amid all this chaos, we never got a chance to really throw in our Gatorade audience analysis question because, well, there was just never time. There's too much accidents, and we were expecting maybe some long green flag runs after that first caution. Didn't get it, and now we got a chance under this caution. Came back early from commercial break to get in this Gatorade audience analysis. As last week we asked which winless driver for the 2003 season has the best chance to get to victory lane next. I think, Trey, our viewers maybe, had some help from how the race was going because 47% said Riley Spurleytube, and look who won that race but Riley Spurleytube. So 47% of our viewers, they got it right.
Yeah, that was a quick answer to that one.
Yeah, that one was immediate. You got the answer. Well, second place in that was Lathan Strickland, 23%. He runs in fifth place here tonight, so maybe he could be the next one winless in 2003 to get to victory lane. But this week we're asking about some of those major races that NASCAR runs. And we talk about the major races, right? What is your favorite of the major races? Is it the Daytona 500, the World 600, the Southern 500, or the Firecracker 400?
World 600.
Is it just for the chaos, Trey?
No, it has a soft spot in my heart.
Yeah.
So is the 500, though, so I don't think you can take away from those two races.
No, I think all those are really, they're classic races. It's just, I think in the past we asked that question, but we said, what is the biggest? That's kind of an easy answer. It should be Daytona there. But in terms of favorite, that could be a little bit different, right? Because maybe you like the Daytona 500 for the craziness. The World 600 has a marathon feel to it, 80 laps at Lowe's and, multiple pit stops. The Southern 500 is a very, grueling track on the drivers, and the Firecracker 400 has that super speedway feel under the lights. So really each of them has a great feel to it.
Yeah, 100%. And I don't know if there's a right answer to that.
No, there is not. So we'll see what the fans think. As Eli Bright is thinking he wants to win this one here tonight. But Jordan Stout and Evans are right behind him, second and third. Then Jericho's fourth, Strickland's fifth, Luke Rainey sixth. Riley Spurleytube somehow in seventh place with that damage. Collins is eighth, Kirchner's ninth, and the rest of the field behind. Who knows where they are? Some of them are lap down, some of them aren't. Stimson's lap down in fourth place. We'll have to see if Jericho and the rest of the lead lap cars can find a way around him. The green flag is back in the air. Bright gets a nice jump from Stout. Evans didn't get a good jump this time. Behind, Kirchner is getting around Mitchell Collins in the number 12 cars. Collins didn't get up to speed. We have 16 cars on the lead lap. Atkins is clean back in 15th place. He and DeLella are making a move on Roberto Crown Jr. We'll see how far that goes. For second place, here comes Evans on Stout, and here comes Jericho. The driver's led some of the most laps here tonight, trying to find his way back up to the front. Luke Rainey to the top 5 by Lathan Strickland in the 48 car.
All right. Now, we got no cars left. We should be good now, right?
We hope so. We have 6 cars up here that are clean at the front, then 2 lap cars, and then 7th place Spurleytube, 8th place Kirchner, and the rest of the field. Atkins would be the next clean car we could get. However, I don't know if he can find a way around all these damaged cars and then keep touch with these front 6. However, this is Lowe's. We could get another caution flag at some point, or lap traffic could play an issue, so we'll have to see. But it's Bright leading, Jericho in second, then Luke Rainey third, Strickland fourth, Stout back by Evans, who's now back to sixth, Stout's up to fifth, going for fourth now on Strickland, and we'll have to see, Trey. Some drivers took on 4 tires, some drivers took on no tires, some drivers took on 2 tires. Eli's on none, Jericho's on 4. How will that play into it for the 18 and the 8? They only had about 2 laps on those tires, but will it play any difference?
Yeah, I mean, if, Goodyear and testing say that it truly will be, what'd you say, a second to a second and a half to fall off?
Yep.
Those guys that took 4 tires, they're having the advantage 100%, especially if this goes out green. As you can see right here, the 18 is able to make a move on Eli Bright. But if something weird happens and per se, most of these guys didn't put enough fuel in and Eli put just enough in plus saving, and he would be the one having the best strategy. I didn't like the way that looked.
Yeah, Strickland missed the bottom, pushed up the racetrack, nearly got into Luke Rainey right there. That could have been the 5th accident of the race. Jericho moves through to the lead on the 4 tires. Eli Bright back in 2nd, but in line with no tires. Then Strickland's to 3rd, Stout's to 4th, Rainey back to 5th. Bright coming back on Jericho down the back straightaway. Gets to the inside. That number 8 Trey, it looks just as fast in the no tires versus the 18's 4 tires.
It does now, but again, what about later in the run? I mean, we still have 20-some laps to go, just under 20 laps to go. That's a lot of time. It's a lot of time for these tires to scrub off. So, again, I'm curious. But I agree. That 8 looks fast, and we'll have to see if this new combination works out well.
It is a lot of time, but would, only 1 or 2 laps on the tires that they took off, would that make a difference for Eli Bright? It was only a lap or 2.
I guess it depends on how those 1 or 2 laps was ran.
Well, it was a restart, and I know.
Well, I mean that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, for about half of the restart, you're not even up to full speed yet. So the tires shouldn't be that worn out for Eli Bright. And I'm surprised more drivers didn't try that strategy call, but Eli tried it. Jeff Bright made that aggressive move to get his boys some track position. We'll see if Bright can hold it over the likes of Strickland and Jericho, who are now 2nd and 3rd. Stout back to 4th. Evans back up to 5th. Remember, he's on 2 tires, and I don't think that's working out for him at all. I mean, you would think it would work, but 2 tires, I think it upsets the handling of the car, changes the handling of the car, and if you don't account for that, it can actually hurt you more than just staying out or taking no tires.
It's really going to be hard to account for that if you didn't practice with it, in any of our practice sessions, or you were just kind of guessing. And if you make that wrong adjustment and put it in the opposite direction, you can kiss your race, goodbye, because that's just going to add on worse to what it would be already. So, I mean, I understand, the gambling factor with it, but if you miss the mark, then you pretty much, you're not going to have contention.
Well, Strickland had just moved by Eli Bright, but then Jericho moved by Strickland in the same lap. So the 48 never got credit with the lap lead right there. Jericho led that one with 16 laps to go. He's in the lead, but Eli Bright, hugging the bottom of the racetrack, gets a nice run off turn number 2 down to the inside. And here comes Jordan Stout and Luke Rainey. 5 cars break away. 6th place Evans. Can he hang on? And how about Trey? Justin Atkins is up to 7th place from the back of the field on this restart. Atkins, don't count him out quite yet. He's not too far back. That 30 looks pretty good.
I mean, it's not like he's been in any of the accidents. He's
exactly
kind of out of the way for majority of them.
Well, because he's been at the front when all the big accidents happen, because he's been on the tail end of the lead lap. But, he got the lucky break a few times in a row and finally decided to stay on the racetrack and get that track position. And here he is, 7th place. It could be a great comeback. However, he has to try and find a way to catch these front 6. He has about a second up to Conrad Evans, who's in 6th place. Battle for 4th, Luke Rainey and Lathan Strickland go at it. Eli Bright's trying to get away from Jordan Stout, and Chris Jericho's not letting those front few stay single file. He's going back on that number 6 down to turns 1 and 2, and this is a driver who's not had much luck in the World 600 over the past. I think back to 2000 where he had a very fast car, but ended up getting run into under the caution flag and taken out of that one. And then 2001 he got taken out late, and last season had a chance to win it, but Jordan Stout just had the better race car. Well, here this season, Trey, he's on it with a chance to win it. Eli Bright had a chance to win it last season. They're 1-2. Jordan Stout won it last season. Still up here. So, Trey, I think those drivers, Stout, Jericho, Bright, they finished 1, 2, 3 in this race last season. They're running 1st, 2nd, and 4th this season.
Well, I guess they could repeat history, Joe, but we'll have to see if this 10 car has anything to say about that, just because, well, it's a lap car. We know our history with them.
And here at a narrow racetrack like Lowe's, it could lead to some major incidents as Eli Bright looked around the outside, but Jericho gave him the room to go back down the inside. It looks like the front 4 at least, are going to find a way easily around Tim Guerin to turns 1 and 2. Evans!
Oh, not Evans!
Arced it a little weird, got wide, but Trey, look at this. Justin Atkins is now in the main pack. We have 7 cars now to go for it. How about Atkins? The run through the field to get up here into the top, 6 or so, that's incredible.
That was, he had to make up a lot of ground, and he's done it perfectly, and he can still make up quite a bit of spots as we're coming up to yet another lap car. I can't tell
Burnett.
who that is. Is that the 17?
Yeah,
then?
17 of Burnett.
Yeah, so we'll his antics already might have possibly been linked to one accident so far this race. We'll have to see if he does anything again here, but this 18 is now making a move on Eli Bright. 48 actually ends up staying up top, which is a unique place to go. I figured he would have followed the 18's momentum, but decided against it. He's actually going to move Lowe now. But yeah,
weird.
That was I don't know if you also saw that.
10 laps to go here at the Lowe's Speedway in the World 600.
Wow,
it's been a long race. Right, goes way up the track, and is going to have to surrender third place to Conrad Evans and maybe even fourth to Luke Rennie. It looks like he can maybe get down right there behind Evans and will, so he'll keep fourth place. Luke's going for fifth on Stout, and Atkins going to break inside the top six. To sixth place he goes. 9 laps to go. They're catching Matthew Burnett further back outside this top 7 battle. Kirchner's in 8th place. Thompson with all that damage still up in 9th. Rasmussen with all his damage is up in 10th place. They have Collins 11th, Belladonna 12th, Lawrence 13th, DeLello 14th, set 16, even though he doesn't have much damage. He only hit the wall a little bit in turns 3 and 4. So obviously did some damage to that car that we can't really see. And then Crown is 15th, and Richardson is 16th. Still going out there trying to gain points on championship rival Brett Sierra, who is out of the race. 8 laps to go right here. Eli Bright's back up to 3rd place. Luke Rennie's back up to 4th. Evans back to 6th as Atkins has now broken his way up into the top 5. It was just about 10-15 laps to go. He was on the tail end of the lead lap, hoping for caution flags. Well, here he is now, Trey. Top 5 with a chance to win it with 8 laps to go.
I'm definitely not counting him out or anyone else in front of him here catching this 18, because it seems like they are reeling him back in and quickly. It's was 4/10 last time around. This time it will be...
They were side by side for most of that lap, so will it hurt them? It hurt them.
It did hurt them.
But only by a 10th, so if they get clear single file, they can try and run Jericho back down. And don't forget, you know, we're talking about this battle for the win like it's going to be straightforward and simple. Don't forget, they could be short on fuel if they didn't get it full last time. So if they didn't get a full fuel, if they didn't pack it full, they had to go from pit road exit 32 laps from green flag 29 laps. The pit window's 30 to 35, so it says they can do it, but if it's not full of fuel, you can't do it.
So you're telling me more pit strategy?
Well, we hope not. We hope that they already did their strategy, and their strategy was just get it full of fuel. But if something went wrong on pit stops, Eli Bright gained just over 1/10 of a second that lap, but something went wrong on pit road, on pit stops, and they couldn't get the can engaged enough, or just couldn't get fuel out of the can into the car, then something could change in that. But we're gonna hope that didn't happen, and these front few cars can race it out, you know, just mano a mano, and see which one of them could get to victory lane. As Luke Rennie had to run onto Eli Bright, Strickland with the run onto Luke Rennie. Strickland takes the run. I think Luke didn't want to take the run because he knows if they get double file, there's no way to catch the 18 car.
Yeah, looks like I agree. Rennie was trying to play the strategy game to catch his 18, but Strickland's playing the I want to go win the race type of game and not wasting any time. As you can see now, Rennie's losing 3 spots as the result of one move by that 48. So it just shows you that these guys are so close that one small mistake can cost you a lot of time.
Right there back to 5th place and might lose 6th to Conrad Evans as well. Front 4 get away from that battle. Only 4 laps to go for Chris Jericho to hold on. Eli Bright is in 2nd place trying to run him down with that no tire call. Then you have Lathan Strickland in 3rd and just Neckens from the back of the field up to 4th place in that number 30 car. Remember, Jericho was one of the faster cars before all the carnage happened early on. So we know that car's fast. It was leading laps early on. Can he hold on for 3 more laps? They battle for 2nd. Strickland moving by Eli Bright. And here comes Atkins for 3rd place as well, down to turns 1 and 2. Strickland completes the pass for 2nd place. Does he have time to run the 18 of Jericho down?
I don't know, but this 30 looks fast, so I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to make a move on this 48 either. But if they do, that's only going to hurt them more. You can see how far Eli's dropped off. Now it's essentially down to these couple of cars, but I don't know if they're going to be able to catch that 18 in time. It seems so even, if not, just a little faster.
Yeah, Stout moves by Evans back there for 6th place. Jericho with the lead, 2 laps to go. They have to gain about 4/10 of a second. Will it be enough as they race down into turns 1 and 2? Lathan Strickland trying to hold off for 2nd place, but can't. Justin Atkins with a great run off turn number 2, looking down to the inside, but has to let him back go, it looks like. Didn't get the run off the corner. Atkins will fall back in line as we come around to the white flag of the World 600. Chris Jericho on the 18 with the lead. He won just a few races ago at Richmond, looking to get back to victory lane. There's the white flag in the final lap for the 18 car.
You can see all he has to do is just hit his marks, and he's going to be perfectly fine. There's nothing out in front of him. He has no worries whatsoever. It really looks like the guys for 2nd place kind of figured they lost this too, so they're getting kind of racy themselves.
Down the back straightaway for the final time on Memorial Day weekend. America and Canada united as one on the number 18 of Chris Jericho, and they'll be united in victory lane. The checker flag is waving. Chris Jericho wins the World 600 at Lowe's. Well, Trey, how about that? We were talking about this paint scheme early on, and we said, what are they going to do if he wins? Is there going to be boos? Are there going to be cheers? Depends on what side the car is facing the crowd. Well, Jericho can find out when he gets out of the car.
Yeah, it'll be. I'll be interested to see what happens here. But Joe, this race went from what I thought was going to be a very long, fuel strategy, green flag run type of race that turned into a. We don't even have half the cars finishing it.
Yep, and that turned into a long green flag run to end.
Yeah, so I guess it came back around.
Yeah, it was like those first 30 laps were clean. The last 30 laps were clean. In the middle, not so clean, but that's just how it played out, here at Lowe's. Sometimes you have those, and here tonight we definitely had that.
This race almost had the same amount of cautions as the last two races.
Yeah, well, the last two races, last two races had what they have 0, so.
Hey, you're right. So it actually had 5 times as many.
Well, I had infinitely times as many.
I'm not good at math, Joe. That's a big number.
I think you have to really go back. Talladega only had 1 caution flag, was it? So, yeah, 4 times as many as the last 3 races combined. How about that?
That's just insane.
Yeah, it is. How about that? And you know what? Chris Jericho, though, he won a very clean race at Richmond. Here tonight, anything but clean. He wins the World 600 here at Lowe's. That's a major win for that number 18 car, especially after, Texas, they were running well and then kind of faded back and then had the pit road incident. They finished down below 35th place, and this could be another big, momentum booster back in the right direction with a lot of the drivers up there in points like Hunter and Sierra, Richardson not having the best of nights. Jericho can gain really big points on those guys. Lathan Strickland gained a lot of points here tonight. A second place finish, leading some laps in that number 48 car. He should be able to move up in points and be right there near Brett Sierra, leaving this race here tonight. Justin Atkins has to be very pleased with his result. 3rd place in that number 30 car. An absolutely outstanding effort coming from the back of the field on that final restart to finish inside the top 3. Luke Rennie was solid all night long. Never had the race winning speed, but had top 5, top 10 speed all night long, and it shows with the 4th place. And Eli Bright with a top 5. Strategy call and all that stuff. The car worked well at the end of the race, something that really hasn't happened much throughout this season. Jordan Stout, winner of this race last season, sells for 6th place this season. Conrad Evans with a 7th place. Keegan Thompson was torn all to hell, ends up in 8th place. Sarah Kirchner in 9th, and Mitchell Collins ends up with the top 10. Riley Spiritu, Belladonna, all these guys down here were damaged, but stayed on the lead lap down to 16th. Then 17th on down to 22nd, were a few laps down, and then 23rd all the way down to 42nd out of the race from crashes. And the big story in that is our points leader, Brett Sierra, finishing in 34th place, and will lose some of that points gap. He won't lose the points lead. That's the beauty of having, a really big points lead entering into these races. He's not going to lose the points lead, but he's not going to be able to gain points. He's going to lose a lot of points. Drivers like Richardson and Strickland and Evan Hunter that were behind him. As we now go take a look at the point standings, Trey, Sierra's still on top, but it's gotten a lot closer between a lot of drivers, where it looked like it was going to be a few car runaway, Trey. This race kind of opened it all back up to everyone.
Yeah, and we've said it multiple times. It's not over till it's over, and it's not the first time we've seen, things fluctuate like this. So I'm not at all surprised.
And we think about how crazy tonight was. Next week can be just as crazy, as we're going left and right turn racing again, but it's the Pepsi 500K at Road America. Trey, we've seen in the past there some big crashes, some pit road mishaps, and what could happen this season with, how tonight went? Are the drivers going to be amped up for next week and bring some of that same energy to Road America?
They better not be too amped up. That could cause more problems.
It could. So hopefully we get a clean race there, but you never know. Road America can be a crazy one at times, as we'll have to see how it all unfolds. This season it's either been, very clean races or, 4 to 5, 6 cautions. So we'll have to see what side of the coin Road America falls on next week on JRTV. But tonight's all about Chris Jericho winning the marathon of the World 600 at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. Congratulations. His 2nd victory of the season, 2nd for Joe Gibbs Racing this season, and 2nd in the last 3 for Joe Gibbs Racing here in the World 600. And we'll catch you guys next week on JRTV at Road America.